Can you hear me though? This would go way better if there was a way to like stream with you instead, but oh. I'm just messing around right now with some ideas, but I can I can follow you on, if you want to stream your screen on Discord, I'll watch you. So maybe that's how we're going to do it. We do it together. My squeaky chair. And if you have a reference, that'd be super cool too. Because I just went on Pinterest real quick and looked up for an idea. Um, because there's like a million ways to do a crate, obviously. And I went with the most ridiculous way possible, of course. Like you can't get more ridiculous than this right here. Just saying. Oh hey. Oh, I think we're gonna get terrible feedback this way. Hold on.
Yes, yeah, you can mute if you want. That's fine. Oh, how do I? Yeah, I got you. Oh, it's no problem. It's good timing. Let me see if I can find it.
Don't get too mad. I deleted, and now we're starting over. I'll wait for you to give me the. Aw, how cute is that? Make your own crate, though. Make your own crate. Pick something on Pinterest that kind of matches what you're thinking. Pick your own. You'll have to let me know too if there's feedback from. You might. Ooh, that's what you could do. For you not to get feedback through Discord. I don't know if you've done this already, but you could just mute Twitch. Oh, fuck yeah. That makes sense. I was just trying to think of workarounds, how to work around. Eventually, maybe we'll just have to stream together. Honey says she's here, but she's not responding to me, so I don't believe her. Honey, I don't believe you. Oh, okay, that's a cool crate. All right. Okay. So, um, you've obviously got it saved in your downloads, right? So, Mozart is great. That's really, yeah, it's cute. That's a cute crate. You did good work. Where did you texture it? In Substance Painter or Blender? In Substance Painter, okay. Do you know how to import an image as a plane? All right. Are you looking? I guess you can just follow along with me if you like. So I'm just going to minimize this window so I can see your shared screen. That you there? There you are. Okay. Um, so you've already got the cube. I mean, we'll just work with what we've got, right? And if you've already downloaded that image, that reference, you'll just do a file import, and you should have an option to import an image as a plane. Um, so if you want to go ahead and do that, and then what we'll do is we'll line it up to our view. And I'll show you how to do that too. Doesn't look like you've got images as planes, eh? It might be an add-on, so go to File, Edit Preferences, Add-ons, Images. Yeah, go to Edit, in your Blender, Edit window. Yeah, you got it. Edit Preferences. Good. Go to Add-ons when it opens. Oh, did you miss me showing you or her?
Yeah, I missed it. Sorry.
No, it's fine. So edit. Back to that edit menu again.
Yeah, preferences.
Mhm.
I've got add-ons open.
Oh, it must be off the screen, off the window. Add-ons and then search images.
On the search.
There should be an option import, export images as planes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just making sure you activate that add-on.
Okay.
And now you can go back and do file import, images as planes, perfect. And then you bring that into your and it'll load into Blender. Um, in the top right corner of your, yeah, you can see you've got a cube plane, right?
Mhm.
Um, or sorry, cube and then the name of the file. Yeah, it's like whatever that name is. So that's your object. So just make sure you're just highlighting it. You just make sure you've grabbed that, not your cube.
Mhm.
Can you press 1 on the numpad when you're in your viewer? Yeah, you're in your viewer. Press 1 on the numpad so you're facing it. It should be, and you still got it highlighted. Good. So then just press R. I'm going to take you through hotkeys as we go too, just because it's a little bit easier. Press R and Z at the same time so that you're going to be rotating on the Z axis, and you just turn it so it's facing you, which is going to be, of course, 90 degrees. So start to spin. Yeah. Did you push Z? It's going to be all over the place unless you push Z. So you can click off and do control Z as in like undo, and then make sure you grab the picture again so that you have that and not your big box in the middle. And then you're going to press, yeah, you got it. Press R for rotate, um, and Z is your axis. So press Z. You can press Z now. No, it's not working. Press and then did you press it 2 times? There it is. That's it, I think. And now rotate it. It should turn to you. There you go. Now we're there you go. Stop. Stop clicking and push and then type 90.
Okay. Right.
Oh, that didn't really work, did it?
Well, whoops. No, I see what it's typing.
That's okay. I can make this even easier for us. Uh, yeah, don't pull up like that. Pull to the side. Pull a little bit to your right. Cool. And then click off of it. So you're doing right, Z, and you're just like rotating it, right? However you want. And then just click off and instead change your angle. See on the bottom there, you see the rotate menu on the bottom left. Click
Yes.
that and pick 90 instead, just to make your life easy.
Okay, it says 90.
Oh, because we already rotate. Push 0 now. 0. Make it 0. There you
Okay.
go. So now your image is there. So the next thing I want you to do is, again, you're clicking to make sure you're on your image. And then instead of R, we're going to press S for scale, and we're going to scale it up a little bit, just so it's nice and big. There you go. And perfect. Click off. And now we can't see your texture, right? So at the top of, see up here on my screen, these are your different viewport shading options. So the first viewport shading option is like you're actually rendering. The middle one is actually, it will show you your materials. So when you imported this image, there you go, image as a plane, you automatically imported also a material, or you created a material to which this texture, your reference, is actually loaded onto. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So now that we've done that, um, you can put it wherever you want, really. Um, so you're just going to be looking, you're just going to be watching it. And whenever I'm moving something, I'm actually pressing, I'm making sure I highlight it. And sometimes you can't click in the viewport, so you just use this to grab it. And then G is always grab. G grab, and then I move things on the axis. So Y to get it out of away of your, yeah, exactly. So G, because you can't grab, just press G yeah, and then push Y, and it'll move back in the distance, or like that. Yeah, that's even better. Leave it there. That's a good place for it. Do you know how to rotate your camera around? If you middle mouse button, push down and swing your camera. There you go. So when I asked you to push 1 on the keyboard, it was aligning your camera angle up to the front camera. So you're staring directly on the front of your scene like that. It's You'll get used to the numpad and knowing which camera you get based on which number you push. So for example, if you press your middle mouse button and you end up all over the place, 1 will take you back to the front view, right? And if you need to look down, 7 will give you a top-down view. Those are kind of the two to start, top-down and front view. So 1 and 7. Okay? and then just rotating around. Um, so that's the crate you want to make. Let me see if I can get it up like you did, just up here. Um, so whenever you're doing a reference and you want to study, um, you want to take time and gather as many references as you can. This is a simple crate. It's not that big of a deal to study it before you do it. But before you waste your time trying to model something, knowing how you're going to break it down is like super important step in the process so you're not wasting your time. And if you were to look at this, um, and let's say you wanted to model it for SL, you wouldn't necessarily want this to be super high prim, right? Like tons of, if that makes sense. So
Right.
you wouldn't want to model every single piece necessarily.
Correct.
Um, you could make this like a portfolio piece, and you could just go to town. But you might look at the features that you could create, that you could still create with textures, and so on. So at first glance, when I'm looking at it, an important feature of this crate is, in fact, the way the handles are beveled out, right?
Hmm.
And it's got this metal on the side, um, and then you can actually identify the different pieces of uh, slats that they have. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, I'm going to bevel this out for sure, no problem, because that's a really distinctive feature of this crate. And you cannot really create um, a 3D model because obviously there's an inside to this, right? You want it to look inside of it. You can't fake a hole of this size. It's going to look like crap. But what I think we can fake is the spaces in between. Does that make sense? I think we can pretend like there's slats, either by adding detail in the model itself or detail in Substance Painter. You kind of get to decide. Another really cute little feature is like it looks like there's little divots at the top.
Hmm.
Do you like that feature? Because you can decide, because that is also to me significantly away from the model that you would want to probably model that detail. So we can totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So the easiest way, the way I'll tackle this, the way I would tackle this is, oh, first question. I think this is a perfect square. Do you want it to be a perfect square
Um,
versus a rectangle, just a square box?
yeah, we could do just a square
Like
for now.
like a milk crate, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's another further two ways you could do this too is since if this is a perfect square, then every single side should be identical, right? So you
Hmm.
could um, theoretically model only one side and then mirror it in different directions and boom, you're done. Or we can just go ahead and treat it like there's so many different ways. There's no wrong way of doing it. So if we'll start off with creating a center. So if you go into edit mode, tabbing into edit mode is how you start modeling. So if you select your cube in the view
Okay.
card and then you press tab, it will open up your edit window. Are you able to do that? Yeah, cool. So there's different ways. There's different methods of altering all of the cubes that you or all of the mesh that you have in the viewer. Either you're pressing 1 or selecting up here vertex mode, so I can select a vertex, right? Or I can grab a side and edit a side. Again, I'm just pushing G when I grab something, getting into the habit of uh, using hotkeys. Or 3, this little button right here gives me face selection mode. So if you want to press 3 or select it up here in the selection mode, either one, you can pick a
So,
face. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking we're going to dig out a hole. So the best way to do that is to do an inset to bring this face into the middle. So if you push I on your keyboard, you're going to get this cool option. Don't be too aggressive. You've kind of crossed over. You've gone from one end to the other. So you'll have to either right click to undo what you're doing and start over. Oh, almost. I'll give you a tip. I see what's happening here. I'll give you a little tip. When you start using the mouse, if you notice whenever you're doing a function, you've
Mhm.
got, if you look at my screen, you've got the crosshair and you've got the dotted line that goes to your surface, right?
Mhm.
The best thing you can do to help yourself is to, whenever you start doing a function, be a little bit in this negative space, not right over. Yeah, because then it gives you a bit more flexibility, right? Versus if I did it here, I'm kind of like messing with how do I move stuff around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you've selected the face and then you can bring your face in like this, moving towards your cube, not too fast. A little
Mhm.
bit gentle, and then just decide how you think what the thickness should be for your exterior walls. So they can be whatever you want. Um,
That looks pretty good.
okay, cool. So then you just left click to activate it. You're done. Now, if you don't do anything else, don't click anywhere else, you'll see that your menu in the bottom corner of your screen popped up.
Yep.
And this is a super handy sub menu to any action that you end up taking when you're creating. So it'll
Mhm.
allow you to, let's say you're like after consideration, you actually want your thickness to be a little bit, thinner. Um, by
I'm gonna.
default, these are selected and they're pretty good. I want you to uncheck individual though, because I'll show you how that works later on. And you don't really want that. If we start doing multiple face insets, I kind of want that to be unchecked for now. We'll check it off later. Do you see what I'm talking about? This one
There we go. Yes.
right
Sorry, I was sending my
here.
husband your link so
That's
he
okay.
could
Oh,
watch.
that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, just uncheck that bad boy because that's the individual one. Yeah, not the inter. Yeah, yeah. Because that
Mhm.
will be important, and you will absolutely be checking and unchecking that at another time. But right now, we'll just leave it unchecked. And then I won't go into all these other things that can happen or that you could use, but yours are set accordingly, and then you get to pick your. Okay, I think I want to change my thickness. The thing is, the reason why I'm pointing this menu out is, or yeah, pointing it out to you is that once you go past the function, like if I click off, you never get that menu again.
Okay.
So, in order to, like, let's say you screwed up and you want to backstep, you're gonna have to Control Z and do it again to end up back in that menu. So it's
Okay.
just kind of like how you've got it there, where you've opened it, is a good habit to always have that open on the side so that you're like, as we do other things, you'll be like mentally reminded that you have to make sure everything is the way you want it so you don't have to do a step back. Okay,
Hmm.
cool.
Yep.
So now you can click away and we're going to go to the next thing we're going to do.
Okay. Just click
Um,
anywhere.
yeah, anywhere you want, and then that menu will disappear and it's gone for good, right?
Hmm. Okay.
Which is fine. We don't need it right now. So now we're gonna do an extrude, which is just E for extrude. There's an extrude button here too that you could use, and it allows you to do an extrude. Um, I've got my snapping tool on, so I'm just turn that off. So you can use either this or you can press the E button, whatever you want, and you can drop this bad boy to whatever level you think it should go.
Oh.
Yeah, grab it and drop it. I'm gonna start mine over because I actually did two extrudes. Okay, so wherever you think it should go. So really good. If you look at your perspective right now, you're probably like, where's the bottom? How do I
Yeah.
know where the bottom is? So what I want you to do is go into one front face camera,
Okay.
press one
One.
camera view, and now when you grab it, you'll know. Unfortunately, what we're actually doing is multiple extrudes. So I'll get you to Control Z until you're back to and unclick that extrude button, which is sometimes you can unclick. Sorry, go to the top. There's an arrow. Select box instead at the top.
Okay.
Yeah. And then make sure you can go back to looking to the top of your cube again. Make sure we haven't done it. Do Control Z until you're back to just the one face again. Okay, cool. So when you select this button, which is it's super handy. You want to know that it's there, right? These cool things.
Yeah.
Except that they stay so that every move you make is another extrude, extrude, extrude. So you have to be cognizant of that. However, you can just press E and then you're dropping down and you can stop wherever you want, if that
Oh,
makes sense. Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now, if you go to one camera view, again, I'll show you another trick. You're like, where did it? Oh, yeah, we're like, where did it go? You can use this button up here, and it's an X-ray button. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's an X-ray button at the top, so you can see inside of your cube as you're working on it. Also, if you want to try
what? Which one's the X-rays? Where
the
did they go?
up here on the top,
Oh, I see. See.
up here. No, oh, yeah, yeah. You can also do Alt Z, and then you'll see inside your cube. So if you have that face selected now, you still have extrude region and move, right? You can
Mhm.
use the slider down here if you want to move it down to where you want it to be. Can you see it? You can still see it? Yeah, 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 you got it. There you go.
Oh, I see.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it. And that's it. You've done it. And you can turn your X-ray mode off. Alt C again will turn it off.
Okay.
Cool beans. So now we need to figure out, okay, um, yeah, you've done it. So now we're going to figure out, all right, so we're going to do the holes first or these metal things first? And I think I'm going to do the metal pieces first on
Okay.
the edges. So what I'm going to, like, how am I going to do this? I'm going to select all my sides and I'm going to
And
go,
what are you clicking for that?
oh, sorry, shift, holding shift and doing multi-select, spinning around with my camera.
Oh,
I can show you an alternative is actually if you hold Alt and Shift and click near an edge, you'll select all the way around.
okay.
So did you get them all? Yeah.
Oh, mm,
Alt and Shift
oh, I didn't. No, I hate
near
control.
on an edge specifically to make sure you're getting the wraparound and not the over and around.
Mm.
Did you? I feel like you got it.
Oh, I did. Okay. I was
Are they all
I
selected? Yeah.
just kept
No, those
selecting
ones are
it.
missing, aren't they? Or are they? Did you get all of them? Yeah. I can't tell. I can't really tell. If you think they're all, oh, you might have gotten the
Oh,
bottom instead. Yeah, yeah. So try again to the right on the edge right here. Alt
yeah.
and Shift and click the very edge.
Oh,
And that'll select, hopefully, all the way around.
okay, it's not selecting them at all for me.
Are you doing Shift and Alt
Oh, okay. There we go.
put together? Brr. No?
Uh,
Is it being
yeah.
temperamental?
It'll let me
Oh,
do it.
there. Did that? No, that didn't work, or it did work. Or you can just like look at it one at a time if you're holding Shift. Yeah. There you go. We'll figure the other one out after. Okay, so
Okay.
go to your front view, which is one. Everything should still be selected.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do inset and we're going to bring up our menu. So just press I and give it a tiny little bit of a something, right? Just a little tiny bit of of love. There you go. And now we're
Sorry.
going to get our inset faces menu when you click, you accept it. There
Okay.
you go. Okay. So,
Um,
where I would like to, I don't know why it's, let me just see here, individual. So if you look, and now we're collecting blah, blah, blah. We're clicking individual. It's going to separate them from the side. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah, cool.
Yes.
And then I also want, I don't know why this one, no, I want to make sure that's equal. I do,
Mm,
nope, nope, no. Okay, so at least we've got that. All right, so I think it should be maybe a little bit thicker than I've got here. So I might bring it in just a bit because it's kind of, no, maybe it's not chunky. Whatever you think is right. Okay?
okay.
All right. So now we're good. I will, what I want
So I
is,
can get a bit thicker, basically.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's
whatever you think is good. And then when you're happy, I'll go to the next step.
looks good.
Okay. So now what I want to do, I think, is I want to grab these edges, these metal edges, right?
Mm-hmm. So do
So
I.
what's that?
Okay. Oh, oh, I see. I
Just
see.
grab one single edge because we're going to make our workflow a lot easier just by doing one single edge. So
Okay.
click
Yep.
both of the, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then what I want you to do is Shift D
Shift
and
D.
Shift D and then, yeah, and then X and pull it away. Yeah, you got it. Did you push X?
Yeah.
Cool. And pull, 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 and stop. Good. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to press 1 to bring up our vertex mode. So we're grabbing our vertices, just like I'm doing here.
Oh, first one.
Hmm. Oh,
Oh,
oh, what happened?
I don't
Control,
know what shot
Control
I
Z. Oh, it moved
got.
back. Okay, so grab and goes at grab X, GX.
Where did it go? It like flung in here.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. G, X.
Oh.
Oh, we're stretching it. If it's inside, then I want you to press L as you're hovering over it to, oh, that's not what we want though. That's okay. You know what? Control Z, Control Z. Maybe 3 times you have to do it. Control Z.
Okay, I got it now.
Okay.
I do.
You think you got the whole thing? And then grab G, X, and slide it over. Okay, good. You might still be stretching a piece. You might not have both sides. Yeah, you're missing a side. I would just try the Control Z, see if it comes out.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
there it is.
did it go all the way? Do you still have it?
Yeah,
GX?
it's right there.
Or do you need to separate it again? Yeah, okay. So now do Shift D. You got it. Yeah, you're gonna have to do Shift D.
Oh, Shift D.
Yeah, to make a new a separate piece.
Oh, there we go.
Make sure you got both. Oh, we're doing too many Control Z's.
D.
There you
Okay.
go. Go. Yeah, I was gonna say turn your camera. Awesome. Set yourself up. Okay, there you go. And then now Shift D,
Shift D.
G,
Shift D.
X. There you go. Slide, slide a little bit more so we're safe. Okay, and then just left click. Cool.
Okay.
Go press one. Press one to.
Okay.
Awesome.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, cool. And then just are you still in edit mode? Yeah, press one for vertex mode. So you press one on the numpad. Sorry, I should clarify. One on your number on the keyboard on the top actually
Got
gives
it.
you
Okay.
vertex mode. Yeah, yeah. So perfect.
Okay.
Grab
There we go.
those, the same 2 vertices I'm grabbing. Grab those bad boys
Which
here,
one?
like the
Okay.
side, the guys that are side down. Yeah.
So do I shift grab or?
Just yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah. Shift grab. Exactly. My bad. And then you want to grab Z, GZ once you've got both of them,
Okay.
or Z if you're American.
Z.
And then you're going to oh, actually wait.
Oh,
I missed a step for you. I forgot that you don't have snap tools on. Oh, and you're going That's okay. Click off. You're good. You're safe. Yeah.
okay.
So you've got them both selected, right?
Yes.
Follow me to the top here.
Okay.
And this is our snap tool. Super crazy helpful. You should have the snap tool on vertex for now, for our purposes. And then
Okay.
you want to activate it by clicking the magnet. Make sure the magnet changes color. Yeah, you
Um,
got it. Yeah, clip that one. Yeah, and that one. Perfect.
okay.
So now you're back, making sure you're back with your 2 little vertices, and you're going to push G now and Z, and you're going to just line them up by make sure you're doing the Z one, G, Z, and
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of all over the place if you don't push the Z there you go. And now you touch the middle one you want them to align with, and you click, you press left button. There you go, left mouse button. Do you see how we just lined them up
Yeah.
perfectly? We're going to do the same with the bottom. We're going to select the two bottom vertices. G for grab, Z for aligning to that vertex there. You've got them?
Yeah.
So to me, so to me, this is going to be what we use to create our middle edge, and we'll line it back up after, okay?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna press 3 on the keyboard. So I'm going back into face selection mode, and I'm gonna grab those faces on this metal piece, and I'm gonna press my Alt button and E. That'll bring up my extrude menu. So Alt E.
Oh, that is
Oh,
not what I did.
oh, you didn't select them yet. So if you push Alt E, you'll end up with your.
Uh,
You did it.
it's trying to bring up my email, some sort of email.
Oh, what? um, is your Alt E not working, or do you have a hotkey for something else?
Must be a hotkey or something else because it's trying to bring up some nonsense
Oh, shoot.
off of the
That's
screen.
okay. So there's actually E. You can just press E instead of Alt E if you have like a hot button that's secure to something else.
Mm-hmm.
And you should, hopefully, it does the proper. No, it's not going to do the right extrude. Hold on. I want it to be. Give me 1 second. I want it to be the proper extruding. So we can do this one here. If we've had the two faces selected, that actually was the right one you were doing. You,
Oh, okay.
I think that was it, right? Extrude region. Let's just try this one. Go back, Control Z again, just so you don't end up with multiple extrusions, and select your two faces one more time for me. And on the bottom of our extrude region, there's like a little tiny arrow, so you can select. Oh wait, there's supposed to be. So you just click, hold it, right? You can click and hold it, the little
Mm-hmm.
arrow thing. And this is us being able to select all kinds of different extrusions in the little menu. Oh, sorry,
Oh,
yeah, I'll get you to click off of that again. Control Z one more time. And then use this. Yeah, yeah. Go to that extrude button on your left. And then the little tiny arrow, if you hold it, long left click. Good, yeah, yeah. Go to extrude along normals. All right. So now you're going to get this little pin, funky pin, and we're just going to drag it just a tiny little bit outward. And then we're going to stop. And you're going to get your special menu. Yeah, left click and you're done. Left click. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Don't do it like how you like it. Push towards. Oh, we're doing multiple click. We're doing multiple extrudes there. Yeah,
I see what.
exactly. You did it. You did it. You handled it. And then I would push towards your object, and it will actually pull the mesh out towards you. It'll extrude towards the pin because it's backwards.
Oh,
Hmm. You got it. There you go. Now click off, and you're going to get your menu, right?
mm-hmm.
Go to it, and I want you to check offset even. Okay. And if you look, I want you to check about the thickness, that you're happy with the thickness of it. I'm thinking according to our crate here. Actually, I'm realizing something else that's kind of funny, but I'm not, it's too late to fix it now. These might actually be squares. Or maybe not. Maybe they're not. Anyway, I think they need to be thick. So let's just create them nice and thick so that they'll overlap on both sides. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm going? Okay. So you make it thick enough to overlap, and we can always change it later. And make sure you've checked your offset even. Yep. Cool. So then we should be happy with that as our
Mm-hmm.
corner. Okay, cool. So now, because again, this is active over here, we've used these funny buttons on the left-hand side of our screen. Let's just take those off by going to our select box at the top, that little arrow at the top there. Yeah, because that would be terrible. All right, so now we have that piece right there that has a divot, rivets, whatever you call it, in it. I think we'll do divots in Substance Painter,
Yeah, that
but
sounds good.
yeah, but as for the little top piece too, I think maybe we'll add that after we put it back into this spot here.
Okay.
So what we can do is I want to select this whole object, and this whole or sorry, this piece. This is one object and this is one piece, but they're separate, right? You agree, obviously. If I hover over it and I press L for select linked, it should give me all of that um,
Yeah.
piece, right? Okay. So then I can do the G for grab again, and I want to make sure I'm always moving everything on an axis. On an axis, if so, make sure you press X. So you're never just your work load will multiply unreasonably if you are ever moving things willy-nilly that you don't really want to be moving willy-nilly. So if the snap tool is getting in your way, you can always go to the top and turn the snap tool off. Um, or you can just, yeah, it's going to try to snap, which we're going to use. So G and X, and we're going to snap it back into position, okay, where we want it.
Okay, I'm trying to grab it. G.
hmm L will link, select the link.
Oh, right now. Whoop. Don't do nothing. Okay, there we
You
go.
got it. You got it. Yeah. So linked, and then
And then you said X for the axis?
yes, X axis.
Okay, there we go. Oh,
Yeah, and you'll snap wherever you want it to snap. So what I kind of want is I want it to be in, overlapping, right? So I'm going to
mhm.
do a combination of G and Y to get into position where I want it. So one at a time, one axis at a time, I'm just going to try to center it. Another super, oh, you're kind of ending up all over the place over there.
I don't know why I did that. Oh.
It looks like you're scaling. Are you doing G or are you doing, yeah?
That one was G, yeah.
All right. And then X. There you go. So I'm finding as I'm trying to line it up that I'm not doing a really good job. So I'm going to go in the top view mode, which is 7. So if you just click accept is like your left button.
Oh no, what happened to it?
Uh, we lost it.
Oh,
There you
all
go.
right, there
And part of moving around the viewport is one of the um, one of the most challenging parts of starting off in Blender is just like when you're in Second Life and you're trying to figure shit out, right?
we go.
Being able to move is a bit of a skill. Okay, so now you're looking at top, and the first thing I'm noticing, and I don't know if you agree, is that it doesn't look like that middle piece is going to go all the way through, right?
Right.
So you have a couple of options. You could just make it bigger by scaling it, or um, or we can duplicate it in your case later on. So get it into position to where you want it. Yeah, using the so right now you're doing snapping. That's why everything's getting out of like all over the place, and
Yeah.
you're not able to precisely put it where you. Well, actually, you don't want to be precise. You want to be less than precise. So go and turn your snapping tool off so it allows you to put it where you want it without being snapped all over the place. Up there
Okay.
on the top, you can just turn that bad boy off.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
was messing with
So it's
that.
handy when it's handy, but also a pain in the ass sometimes. So turning it off is helpful. And the other thing you can do too is if you want to keep your snapping on like I do, when I go and move stuff, I never have my mouse close to where I'm working because everything still works when it's out of the way, and then I'm not caught by these vertices trying to catch me up. So
Hmm.
I'm going to do more of the G grab stuff to get this into position where I'm happy eyeballing, and if you want to do that on the exterior, so yeah, exactly like you're doing. So a little bit of it is outside and a little bit of it is inside, right? Or sorry, I mean, what am I trying to say? The profile is off of the edge of the crate. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, mine definitely is.
Yeah, cool. So we'll just work on the outside, and then what we can do is when we're done, we can just copy it in the middle for yours. It'll be two separate
Okay.
objects, and it doesn't really matter. Unless you wanted to, if I can also show you by are you in? Yeah, you're in 3. Grab the two faces on the inside there, if you can.
Inside, like right here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to turn your X-ray mode on. Yeah, go from that angle right there and grab the two faces on the inside. Make sure that's the two faces.
Oh,
Um, it's gonna be tricky. You'll have to grab them from the middle, the bottom, like the middle, midway down the interior faces.
For the corner piece, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If it's showing me describing it.
Yeah, just go all the way down, like middle of the crate itself. You're getting the hang of navigating it. Like you're not. This is a tricky navigation you're doing right here. I would scroll out just a touch
Look, there they are.
and look. See how my view here of this box?
Yeah.
I want you to grab from through the box. You can actually. Each face has a dot. See the black dot? You
Oh, I see it. I see it. Yeah, yeah.
you can grab the two faces from their black dots in the
How
middle.
do I
You got
scroll
them?
down? Oh,
Totally got them. You got them, right? You
I
got
got one.
one. Oh, there's the
There
other one.
it is.
There it is. There it is. Shift, you get the other one. Okay, so now go
Yeah.
to
Now,
7. Mhm.
okay.
And I'm going to get you to, how do I want you to do this? I want you to maybe scale. So I want you to press, um, let me think. Let me just test something out here. I want you to scale and I want you to press Shift Z. So you're not, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to do normal and I'm going to scale. Nope. Local.
Oh,
No. Oh wait, I know what I can do. I can do normal, grab. No, I know what you're gonna do. I got an idea. So you've still got those edges selected. Go
mhm.
to extrude along normals. So click this button right here.
Okay.
All right. Let me just correct what I've done up here. So you've got your that's active, and then you got your little pin boy. Grab your pin and bring it towards the. No, no, yeah, yeah. Everything else is right. Grab your pin and head towards the opposite corner. To
Okay.
pull it. Yeah. Oh, did you lose your pin? Uh-oh. You're gonna
I
have to.
did.
I would Control Z, Control Z. There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, and pull it. See if that works. Yeah, I don't think it's working. Hmm. Control Z. So X, Control Z. Good. Go back to your extrude and long hold, and maybe just try extrude region regularly, and let's see if that works. If this doesn't work, then well, that's interesting. I might have to just figure it out a different way after. Yeah, forget that. Forget that. It's okay. We'll just keep it like this for now, and then I'll figure out an easier way of doing it. Okay, the other thing I want you to do is actually select it with L again. You can turn X-ray off if you want to. I think we'll be okay with that X-ray.
Okay.
I think we we want it to be extended on the top a little bit, right? So I think if we grab these two top edges
Okay.
and oh, make sure you're off of your extrude. Go back
Oh,
to your little, what's it called there? The select box. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now you're gonna grab G for grab. Yeah, the little guys. Shift. You got them both.
yes.
Grab and then Z for the Z axis and just pull them up just a tiny bit.
Oh, you-
G
Oof.
and Z for your Z axis. Yeah, just a touch, not too much, just so it's extruded out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do some fancy. Oh, don't go rogue. You
Apparently,
can
I can't.
push Z again. Push Z again to lock it on the Z axis, and you'll. There you go. Cool.
Okay.
So that you're happy, and don't forget your camera one, so that you can actually get right in there and really get to see. You know, scroll.
Like my screen keeps moving to the corner.
Oh, yeah. So then you can really see where your profile is. Okay, cool. So we've made it this far. So what I want to do now is I want to see it copied all the way around, right? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I'll get you to L, select it.
Okay. L.
Yeah. And I'm going to get you to press P. We'll bring up a separate menu. And I want you to separate it by selection. And now it becomes a separate object now. It's not part of the crate itself. So
Okay.
you can't click on it anymore. It's become a separate object.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I want you to tab out of edit mode. You're going to go into object mode. In object mode, you can see that you can select either one, the crate or the metal component. And
Mm-hmm.
I want you to select the metal component, and we will go to our menu on the side, right over, right over here. And there's a little, yeah, modifiers. And are you in viewer? No, you're in 3. You're in version 3 point something Blender?
Yeah, I haven't
That's okay.
updated
No,
this
no,
in a
that's
minute.
okay. Just it's just slightly different. So then you're just going to look for add modifier, look for the mirror modifier. Oh, you can do that. Mm, it's gonna
Um,
is it going to be a bit of a jerk? You might have to just do what you were doing before and just select the mirror modifier.
okay.
So go back to the little wrench. Yeah. And then add modifier and then mirror is in the second column in the middle. Over one more. Second from the left, I meant, sorry. Second from the
Oh,
left. Yeah, go.
oh,
Yeah, there you go. Click there. And boom, you've already got it
oh, I
mirrored
see.
over there. Now,
Removed.
so you can actually repeat this on the same, if you look at your mirror menu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why is it a little offset there? What did we do? What happened? We'll figure that out. Okay, you can actually hit Y and it will now double your mirror to all 4 corners. Okay,
Oh, no.
and so we're seeing that you've got an issue
Okay.
with your offset. So we'll have to troubleshoot what's going on there. So I think
It's just grab
I want you
it, move
to.
it.
What's that? What? What's that?
I said just grab it and move it.
It won't work because it's mirrored. So
Okay.
everything is interconnected. So that's okay. What you're going to do is do object on
Object
the
where?
top at the top.
Oh, I see.
You're going to do object. I want you to apply all transforms.
Um, oh, fine, okay.
All transforms.
Yep.
That didn't fix it. I want you to click on your box and we'll do object, apply all transformations. And then can you just turn your camera so I can see inside your box? I want to see something. I want to see who's out of line. Press 7 on the numpad. Let's see who's out of line here. Your screen is very small to me. It looks to me like your cube is out of line, I think, more than anything. So to reset your cube's position,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get you to go to Object, Set Origin to Geometry. So
Okay.
Object at the top, Set Origin to Geometry. And that squared it away. Okay, so now
Well,
you're gonna have to go. It's okay. You're gonna go and select your corners, and you're gonna go to your corner. Select your corner, and then tab into edit mode for your corner. And I want you to press A for all. So tabbing into edit mode and A for all will give you the whole corner. Push the dot or period button on your numpad, and that'll bring you to the corner that you need to work on. Oh, that went a little far. Maybe zoom in. You're, oh, I'll get you to, yeah. Might take a second for you to rotate your camera around so you're back to like the way we were modeling before. Yeah, I think if you press 1 on the numpad, you'll end up in the front view, remember? If you ever lost, go back to 1 and then get yourself to that corner again.
How do I? Yeah, how do I move?
Middle mouse button. Middle mouse button does the.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
And
it's
then
not sliding.
shift middle mouse
Oh,
button.
okay. There we
Sorry,
go.
sorry, sorry. Yeah, shift and then
Now what?
rotate it a little bit.
Okay.
There you
There we
go.
go.
So
Okay.
now go into edit mode, tab into edit mode,
Okay. Oh,
A,
tab.
tab into edit mode. Yeah, make sure you're in edit mode.
Yeah. Oh, I think I am. Oh,
Yeah,
A. Okay, there we go.
not on the cube though. Go for the metal pieces. So select the metal pieces only if you want to select
Yep.
them, and then tab into edit mode. Oh, that's the cube again. Let's try this again. Click off of everything.
Okay.
Tab, uh, select A. I think you did it. I think you did it. Just select A. You got everything. There you go. So the whole thing is selected now. So now go one on the numpad with that selected, and now line your guy up. Slide him down. So
So G and
yep,
so I
and
just
Z. Yeah, the Z axis. Slide it into where you want it. Yeah, that looks right.
yeah.
And then left click to make sure you're off, and then use your camera um, zoom again. Like, yeah, rotate it, make sure you're happy with where that is. Press 7 to look at it from above.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, are we lined up? Oh, it's like crooked on the other side though. So I think what we have to do is tab out into object mode again.
So tab.
hmm So you're in object mode, and then go to object menu, and we're going to set origin to 3D cursor. Okay,
Okay.
and then see if that fixed the alignment by pressing 7 on the.
7.
It's still a little bit off, eh? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So we'll
Almost like
do.
it needs to spread.
Yeah, why are they all kind of off? I'm wondering if your rotation didn't accidentally happen. So what I'll get you to do is push push N.
Okay.
I mean, we did kind of just reset everything, so it's going to be hard to figure this out. And I want to see, I can't see, yeah, we reset everything, so it's not going to really be very helpful. But it could be that everything is mal-rotated, so it's okay. There's a way to fix that too. So select the, you already did select it. Press Tab to go into vertex mode of your little object. It might have been when I was getting you to do all of those adjustments to try to make it come to the center, we might have screwed with the alignment. So press 1 on your keyboard. So you're in perfect vertex mode. And then I want you to press 1 on the number pad and go into x-ray mode for me, which is, yeah, perfect. And zoom in so you see all these vertices at the top. Do they look lined up to you? Do they look good like they're lined up well? Straight, eh? Pretty much.
Yeah, they seem like they're straight.
Okay, so then I want you watch how I'm selecting. I want you to do a similar selection. I'm left clicking and dragging like I'm doing a selection mode. Do you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So you might have to zoom out first though. I'll get you to watch me first and make sure you've got like yeah, yeah. So you can see all of the corner in your viewport. So you're like, yeah, yeah. You want to, yeah, perfect. Okay. So now I want you to do a selection where you're just selecting these guys on the end. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Just those guys. And perfect. And I want you to press S, scale,
Uh,
S for scale, X for the axis, X for the Y, and 0, which zeros it. Okay?
0 on the keyboard.
On the numpad. Yeah, the numpad.
Okay.
Cool. And now you're going to do the same thing by turning your camera over here, and I'm going to show you a new camera view. It's called the 3. Control 3 on your numpad. Oh no, press. You're good. Click off. Click off. You're good. You already
Okay.
did the straighten, yeah. So now I want you to turn your camera by, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now to get that camera view just like the front camera, hold control and press 3. And you're going to go into side view now. Control and 3 brings you to the side. Perfect. And same thing here. We're going to do the select box and only grab these bad boys.
Okay.
See, to me, everything still looks perfect. I'm not so sure this is going to fix the problem. And now we're going to do S for scale, but instead of X, we're going to go on the Y axis this time. And we're going to
Okay.
press 0 to scale it on the Y so that everything lines up on the Y. Yeah.
Okay.
And let's go back to 7 to see if we fixed it or not. Click off. Yeah, you did it. And we're still kind of weird on that side, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's if you can you zoom in, press 7 and zoom in to the all the way to the center of your object here. Is everything all aligned?
Oh,
If you go right to the middle, is everything lined
oh, oh my gosh.
up?
Okay, there we go. So it's weird. It's like these two are lined up more than these two.
And you know, now I'm looking at yours and it looks like your inside pieces right here might not be lined up. So zoom in close right here. Go to 1 on your are you in edit mode? Yeah, you are. So get close to this piece using shift and middle mouse button to get you to pan to that sorry, 7 on the numpad to get you to top view. We'll fix it from here. Cool. And then try to get close to the corner piece. Actually, I really do think your cube is rotated. Ah, how do we? Okay.
Oh, actually, I think it is. Look,
All right, so let's
it
tab
doesn't
out of
follow the
object
line.
mode. Yeah, yeah. Go to object mode and select your big cube.
Okay, so tab cube. Okay.
Tab into into vertex selection mode. So tab into edit mode and press 1 on the keyboard.
Okay.
Make sure you're in X-ray mode again.
Yeah.
And
And
we're gonna start by, this one's gonna be a little bit more, oh, you got it. Oh, no, no, up here. Just your X-ray. X-ray, you got that? Okay, so then what I want
yeah,
you to do is select the top guys like we were doing before. Make sure you're in X-ray mode. I can't tell. The screen's very,
it is on, but it doesn't like not
doesn't
like
really
show.
look like it. Oh, you're not in object, you're not in edit mode. Tab into edit mode.
Oh, okay. There we
There
go.
you go. And then you're in X-ray. Good, good. And press 1 on on your keyboard
Okay.
so that you're in edit. Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah.
Press 7. There you go. Press 7. You got it. And then 1 on your keyboard.
Okay.
Cool. And then
Got it.
select just the top guys. And it's going to be S to scale, Y axis 0.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then I want you to grab the bottom ones only. Yeah, we're going to select box. Perfect. S to scale on the Y axis 0. Axis 0.
There we go. Okay. Yep.
Cool. So let's do the same thing with the side here, like this. Yep,
These are good.
yep. S to scale, X axis 0.
Okay.
And then on
And
the other side, yeah, X to scale, or sorry, S to scale, X axis 0.
okay. There we go.
Does it feel like, yeah, I think we did it. So now though, we're gonna have to redo our alignment. So tab out into object mode, select your little corner piece, tab into edit mode again with this time you're gonna just face select is fine and press A for all. So you've got everything, right? Zoom in
Um.
and line it up.
So I would like G and grab it.
Yeah. Gee. And
Oh.
pick an axis though to make sure you're not moving up and down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do X first and then do the Y axis. Yeah, exactly. You have to kind of click off. Do you know what I mean? You have to like accept. So left click to accept that when you're happy with that, and then do the same thing. Repeat it for the X axis.
No.
G to grab. Yeah, there you go. You're getting the hang of it. And then move it in where you want it. Cool. All right, so glad we sorted that out. Bit of troubleshooting learning for today, I guess.
There we go.
Just every single troubleshooting thing I could think of. All right. So now, okay. So look at us. Look at us. Look at the progress. Okay. We're gonna go back to the box now, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do we're gonna map out the slats. So one,
Okay.
two, three, four, right? Would you say? And the top one's gonna look different. You know what I mean? It's actually gonna look
Mm-hmm.
different. So I want you to press. I want you to hold the go to the box. Sorry, tab out into object mode
Okay. Right,
and
the box.
select your box. You got an edit mode there? Cool.
Yep. Oh, I'm
Um,
in extra detail too.
you're in what? Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So, sorry, you are in edit mode. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I want you to do now is we're going to make some loops, some loopy loops around. So, Control and R will give us our loop cut menu. Control R. And I want you to hover your mouse around like one of these edges. So, Control R.
Not get it. Oh, okay.
And then see you got this. If you scroll your mouse wheel up, you can get,
Mm-hmm.
boom, lots of cuts. And we're going to be adding what they call adding geometry. So we only need
Four,
two,
maybe.
two, we only need two cuts because we already have two cuts in there. So two
Okay.
cuts, and then we're going to accept left mouse button click, and then we're going to left mouse button click again. So left, yeah, exactly that. And you pull this menu up. Remember I told you about the menus, the fancy menus? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so from here, you can always increase the number of cuts if you're like, nah, I really wanted three. But I think two is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Smoothness, don't worry about that for now. But I want to make sure that they're even. Um, don't click that. Actually, never mind. It because we already have a loop cut in there, and the way it's cut, it kind of offset it too weirdly. Um, and we're clamping. Everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. We don't need to deal with any of that right now. But as long as you
Okay.
know that once you put your loops in, if you changed your mind, you could go up here. Okay, so we're going to click off to get out of that menu. And now we've got our cool cuts for these different slats. Um, and even though I wanted to really emphasize the different slats in Substance Painter, it's still not a bad thing adding this geometry here. If I turn my X-ray mode on, though, you can see something really interesting is happening where the loop cut kind of angles up in the corners. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this happens because if you remember, we had already a cut but had done it in a different way, and it created this angle in here. So it tends to follow angles. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not happy with that, I can Alt and left click to select the entire loop if you want to do that. Alt
Alt
left,
and left.
yeah, left click with, sorry, let me get you in edge selection mode. So press 2 on the keyboard.
Okay.
So you're in edge selection mode. Hold the Alt button and select the edge loop in the middle one of the middle ones. Yeah, yeah. If you hold Alt down, you should get the whole loop all the way around.
Okay. No, it's not letting me grab it.
You've got a weird Alt. Do you have like an Alt something? Maybe your Alt key is a little bit. If you hold Alt and select, it doesn't let you do it.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's giving me. I wonder what if this is like a setting on my computer. Let me just see if I can do edge selection. Is there another way to edge select?
Can I shift select? I can shift select them just fine.
Okay, that's a bit. You know what you can do? Go one on your numpad.
Oh,
One
oh,
on your numpad. Oh,
oh,
after, yeah. And you've got X-rays already on for you. You can actually then select those edge loops like that with the box select.
oh, okay, I
Just
see.
so it's a little shorter for you to, instead of going around and picking all them, you can go on the outside here and just box select them all. Yeah, you got them?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
You got, no, no, it didn't work.
Oh. Not all of them.
So
Turn off
instead
all
of
of them.
click, yeah, don't click on them. Go to one again on your numpad.
Okay.
Okay, and then click off of the object. Okay, and now do your selection, box select, instead of clicking. Don't click. Don't click. Don't click.
No click.
No
Okay.
clicky. And do what I'm doing. Look at my cam. Look at my screen.
Oh, I see. I see.
I was like, no clicky. Okay, and then scale, S to scale, and we're going to scale on the Z axis to 0. And that should flatten it out. And then left click. Boom. And now we'll do the same thing with the other one.
Okay.
And yeah, select, or sorry, scale Z0 to flatten it out.
Yep.
Cool beans. Okay, so that's done, and we've got them. They're all nice and straight, and we're happy. I want you to get out of X-ray mode though, because the next part I want to put divots in the top piece, right?
Yeah.
So the way we'll do it with one side to start,
Okay.
because I think having to select multiple sides might be a little bit ridiculous for you right now. We'll try it just this way. So back to the Control R menu, which is our loop cut menu. We'll do Control R right in the middle here if you look at my mouse. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then scroll your button up to give you two cuts.
So scroll my button up.
Yeah,
Oh.
just by one. Scroll it up. Boop. Perfect.
Okay.
And then left click to um, accept. And then left click again to finalize. And you'll bring up your loop cut and slide menu.
Okay.
Cool beans. So that's all. We're happy with that. So in the other time we did the loop cut and slide, I had you straighten them out, right? Go to X-ray mode. I don't think we need to do that here. Instead, what I want to do is they're still selected. I want you to hit S for scale,
Okay.
okay? And then X on the X axis. And we're just going to pull them away apart from each other a little bit,
Oh,
okay?
I see. Okay.
Yeah, just to where you think the divot for the handle should be.
Oh, I see. No. Ooh.
Whatever you think, artistically or whatever you
Okay.
want.
That's good, I think.
Cool. Now, um, when you're looking at it, it doesn't go all the way down, so we need more geometry there to make this divot part, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I want to do is create another loop cut, so Control R in the middle of the top piece, of the top
In the
slat.
middle.
So it wanted, yeah, 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 you got it, you got it. And then left to accept, and left again to bring up our loop cut and slide menu.
Okay.
All right, and so now that's it. So I want you to go into face selection mode. So 3 on the on your not numpad. Oh, see, you did the numpad because that's what I said. Go back to the front view, one on the front, or go back like camera around so you see that little tiny geometry, the little square we made. You might have to pan to the, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right there.
So you're going to
Okay.
select that guy, the one that's
Okay.
going to be the handle, and you're going to pivot around and you're going to select this guy on the other side.
Oh, I see. Okay.
hmm I'm actually reconsidering my life here. Give me 1 second. I think I have something else I want us to do first, just to make this. We could just poke holes through, but there's like, oh, there's 500 different ways we could do this now that I'm looking at it. But what I do want to do is I want to do it all together. So we're going to do the inside too, right? So we're going to do the loops again. So we're going to go Control R instead of selecting, click off, and look on the inside of your box.
Oh, look on the inside of my buttons.
Yeah, yeah. Facing kind of a little bit where the handles are going to be. And do a Control R there. Click.
Control
And
on.
yeah, Control R. You know what? You're doing that right,
Right
but instead do click off.
there. Okay.
Yeah. And go back up there and do your snap tool. Shift tab.
Oh.
This, yeah. It'll be really helpful. So then you're going to control R now. Yep.
Okay.
So that when you go and you place your loop, you can line it up with the bottom handle part. So if you just slide your mouse so that you're picking this vertex right here where I am. I don't know if you can see it. Come closer to the bottom corner where the handle is going to be eventually, the whole of the handle. To your left a little bit more. Slide right, almost there. Yeah, almost there. Slide right there. Do you feel like you're right over that vertex? And then let go. And then click. Oh, I think we're on the outside. You went to the outside. Try that again. Control Z. And then do Control R on the inside of your box.
All right. On the
Hmm.
inside of my box.
Control R on the walls, inside walls. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of like line it up with the bottom right corner of where your handle is going to be.
It
Do you,
looks like it.
do you see it over here? Look at where my mouse is when I do it. So you can click one time to make a inner, yeah, click there, click, and now slide to where, if you look at where my mouse is right now,
Mm-hmm.
get your mouse right there on that. Yeah, yeah. I think it'll work. No? Is it just giving you, you're kind of getting hung up on the side, eh? All right, let's try it again. So click off, Control Z, and then go to the inside again one more time, and then Control R, and then click. Yeah, once you've got the inside, click on it one time, so you get orange. And now look at me sliding to snap here, so that it makes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, and then click to accept. Click to accept. You got it. And then we do the same thing now with the top corner. So look where my mouse is. You need to be in this area here. Okay.
Okay.
And Control R to make your loop cut. Make it orange. And now we're going
Okay.
to go to the top corner.
Oop.
You did it. You did it. You did it. Oh, almost. You almost did
Oh.
it. Try again.
Oh.
It disappeared. So Control Z just to make sure you didn't make an extra cut. Control Z once. Oh, you might lose that one now. Go back to the bottom left corner. Bottom left corner with that one.
Okay.
Did we lose it? It looks like it's gone. You have to do the Control R again.
Oops. Not hitting the right button.
There you
There
go.
you
And then orange. So you have to, oh, not there. There you go. Click it one time when you've got it. And there you go. Yeah. Click it. There you go. And do it again. Up higher. Click it. And then go. Oh, is that the right one? Is that it? I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the inside or the outside. That might be the outside again. Control Z just one time.
Oh, I see. I'm trying to make another on the inside.
Yeah. On the top. Yeah. But above that orange bar right now. So do Control R on the top.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah. Click it
Okay.
and then line it up to the top corner. You got it. Press the, oh, you did it. Okay. So now
Yeah.
3, face selection mode. Boom. And
Okay.
we're going to select all those faces that correspond with the second row down that are going to be, actually start over. We're actually just going to pick one side at a time because you can't do two sides. So like this, two faces that correspond with um, where the handle is going to be. So it's,
Oh,
yeah, three on your keyboard. We'll give
oh,
you the face selection mode, not numpad.
yeah.
Sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? Is that what it's called?
There we
Three.
go.
There you go. You got it. So that one, and then the inside. Cool. And no,
Do I
not
want
that
to do
one.
the
Not
other side?
no, not yet. We'll do them one side at a time. So make sure they're both selected, the ones that are on either side. Yes. Right click over the face. Right click.
Okay.
And I want you to bridge faces.
Bridge faces.
Bam.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay, it's crooked. We'll fix that in
No.
a second. Don't worry. We'll do it on the we'll do it on the other side. So same with select a face, select another face, and we will bridge faces. Okay, so they're kind of borked, and I think that it's better if they're wider. So I think I'm going to correct my exterior lines versus my interior lines. Does that make yours aren't crooked? Are yours perfect? It's just me. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't need to. I don't have to explain this to you. Then I'll do it. I'll just fix my messes. Hold on here.
Oh, I
Uh,
see what you mean by crooked.
Mine
Yeah,
are
no,
crooked. Yours aren't though, right?
no, mine are straight.
How did that end up?
I don't
That's
know.
really funny. Okay, just ignore what I'm doing for 2 seconds because I'm going to be really super ridiculous and do it this way. All right,
Mm.
I'll do it like that instead. And then we'll just do bridge faces and bridge faces. Okay, so I mean, bam, right? So we can do the exact same thing on the other side. If you want to just angle yourself over, and you can do Control R.
Okay. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah, you got it. And then yeah, mouse wheel up once you're on the edges, not the middle. You're
Mm.
so close. No, not the inside. Control Z.
Oh, we don't want the inside?
No, like we want to do. We're gonna do handles on the other sides. So Control R on the exterior walls of where we haven't done handles yet. Yeah, and scroll up one
Okay.
on with your mouse button.
Right
Once you
there?
no onto the top. What is this called?
Oh, I see you're doing oh, I see what you're doing.
I know what it's called. What is it? Yeah, there we go. You got it. Scroll. There we go. And click accept.
Mm.
And then accept again. And we've got our, so like left mouse button, left mouse button.
How do I move it? How
Oh,
do I
you,
move back to center?
no. Oh, just right click off and you can start over. Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. And then go to your, no, you're good.
Okay.
No, you're good. So I'm going to get you to correct though. Remember we did, if you can select them again. Oh, you had trouble with selecting, eh? Let's
I have to do
with the
7.
alt. Yeah.
I don't know which one it is.
Okay, you can do it like that. Yeah, if you want, I can talk you through it. Go press 7.
I did.
You can't do that unless you have X-ray mode enabled, and then you can do what you're doing. Your thought process is good, but just yeah, exactly. Because otherwise you'll just be straightening what you see versus what's there. So then
Okay.
scale Y 0.
Okay.
Cool. And then the same thing with the other one.
Okay.
All right, so now select both of them now. Do what you were doing before and select both just the same way.
Okay.
Okay. And cool. And press scale Y and pull them apart a bit, just like we did on the other side.
Yeah. Okay, there we
Just so
go.
we get like a handle that we're happy with. And maybe come out of X-ray mode after you've pressed left button. What? 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 You've got them all right. You're doing it, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And
Okay.
now you want to press 3 and select those faces again and do the bridge thing.
Oh, right. There you go. One.
Yeah, exactly that. And then bridge faces and bridge faces. Cool. And now our crate has 4 holes for handles. But, artistically, you got, oh, you didn't do it, so I'll wait for you. So
There we
artistically,
go.
I'm looking at this and I really like the rounded edges, right? The rounded edges are like super important, I think. So I'm going to show you another cool thing that we do. I want you to go into on your keyboard so that you are in edge selection mode. Yeah, almost.
What is edge selection? Oh,
Two,
whoops.
oh, back into edit mode. Press 2 on your keyboard. So you're two on the keyboard, not the numpad, but the key. You're gonna do it. I know you are. There you go. Okay. And if you watch what I'm gonna do here, this is a bit of a tedious work. We're gonna be selecting these tiny little edges because if you look at our reference photo, it's that edge there that I need to make round, right? So what
Yes.
I'm gonna go around my cube. So this will be a little exercise in navigating through your viewport, and I'm gonna make sure I select all of those little edges right there. And by the time you're done, you should have 8 edges selected. And you can see how many edges you have selected in the bottom corner. Oh, if you have that on. I don't know if you have that on or not. But
You're selecting these little edges.
yeah, do you want to? You can look at my screen. I'll show you
I see.
these little bastards.
Okay.
And you should have 8 total selected.
4. Yeah, it's a bit of a.
Make sure you've got them all. You're gonna know if you don't this next exercise we're gonna do. All right. And do a scan all the way around to make sure they're all selected. I almost feel like there's got to be a way when people are learning to really increase the size of everything so you really see it till you get used um, to you really get used to.
I did it
You'll
though. I
figure
got them.
you got them all. Okay, so the
Mhm.
next for our next trick, my dogs are gonna bark. Sorry, 1 second. I'll tell them to be quiet. Hold on. They just wanted to tell me people were walking by. Okay, so control, and we're gonna go be into our bevel menu. It's kind of really important here that you're not too close to where you're working when you activate the bevel menu, okay?
Okay, so
Yeah.
control you
So
said?
have your mouse off of the box because if you're too close this will be really difficult. And then control B for your bevel menu and you're going to start pulling just really slowly till those edges start coming up. You see what I'm seeing? You see what's happening?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
As you're doing this, kind of stop for a second in the middle without clicking anywhere. Just pull to where you think it's good. And I want you to see the bottom of your screen. You There's like a bunch of instructions and not instructions. Let me just see if I can read it to you without because I can't really show you with my screen. But on the bottom you see width type, offset, segments, profile, clamp overlap. You see all those what are they called? Instructions?
Mm-hmm.
Options at the bottom, running along the very bottom of your bar.
Yeah.
Okay. If you press, it's telling you how to use this tool that you're in, the active tool you're in right now, which is the bevel tool. So, for example, if you all of a sudden were to push one of those buttons as you're in this menu, you would activate a change in how this tool works. And so I just want to point that out to you because when you get to doing more and more stuff, it's like a cheat sheet of the hotkeys that um, allow you to change how the tool functions for you and different
Right.
options. Okay, so what we are going to do though is we're going to use those hotkeys to do something next. So get it to a place where you want, but it's supposed to be round, right? So if you wheel your mouse button up, you start creating segments in your beveling.
Okay.
Okay, so as you create those segments, you can make it where you're happy with what it looks like by
Oh, I
scrolling.
see.
Yeah. So you can pull or push to get the angle where you want it, and then you can, being mindful of the highlighted edges you're working with right now. You don't want them to be too close to the intersections of your other geometry. So if you look at my screen quickly or briefly, I'm kind
Hmm.
of pulling it down to here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that it's a way I've got space in my edges.
Yes.
Okay, so then when you're happy with what it looks like, you can just left mouse button and then yeah, oh, Do it again. I'm gonna make you go back to that bevel menu. So, yes, you
Oh,
got it. You got it. You got it.
oh,
You
sorry.
you might have to control Z again till you get. Don't control Z too fast though. Control Z, there you go. And then control B for your bevel menu and then repeat the steps to play with the bevel. Good. And now when you left mouse button, don't left mouse button again till you look at
Okay.
the menu. There you go, your pop-up menu. Remember,
Okay.
it's remember when you're using a tool, this is this silly thing. You can't get it back once you get out of this menu. So this menu here, there's a button that's kind of important. It's called a clamp overlap. If you click your clamp overlap and in your geometry, if things change, then you know that you were probably too close to the edges and it's decided to push your geometry forward for you. This is to prevent any kind of glitching that could happen here in your edges.
Mhm.
The other thing you can do is like, let's say I'm looking at it now and I want to change the width of it. You can do that here. You can mess around here now and alter the changes you've made. And then you
Oh,
can further do you can further add more segments to make it even smoother. And an object this small, you should try to go with as little geometry as possible to get the effect that you want. Does that make sense? Because the more geometry you add when you load it into SL, the more land impact it has the potential of being, right?
right.
Um, so if you want it to be smooth because that's just the way you want it, then you just do it. And I'll teach you about how to minimize your land impact later on to make what you want work. Does that seem cool? Are you happy with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm.
Oh, I keep pressing. Okay, that looks good.
Yeah. So I'm looking back. Let's look back at our reference. Um, yeah. I mean, we're pretty much. That's pretty much it. There's the little top piece. We tab out, go back into object mode, and if we go back to the metal parts, um, and you
And
tab into
little.
face, yeah, 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 and
Mhm.
you take. We could use this to create the little tiny pokey piece out of the. You see the little pokey piece here out of the reference?
Mhm.
Um, but maybe we'll actually just add something else there to make a pokey piece, just for fun. Okay, so I'll get you to tab out and go into object mode
Okay.
and add a mesh cylinder.
So add.
No, I just changed my mind. Don't add a mesh cylinder. Let's do an icosphere. Add, yeah, mesh icosphere.
Okay.
Boom. And we're going to S to scale it down, kind of
Mhm.
smallish. And then we're going to G grab, but we're not going to pick an axis this time. You should still have your snap selection tool on, right? Your snappy. It should snap wherever you want it. Yeah, scale, and then left click, left mouse button. Grab it, and now you should be able to snap it where you want it into place. And
Yeah.
then further grab it on the Z axis to get it where you want it so you're happy with its size and its location and you're like, okay, this is exactly what I wanted kind of thing. Yeah, wherever you're happiest.
No, I don't want you to delete it.
I mean, that's always a thing. That can totally happen.
What's happening here?
I just changed my view because so that you can see my screen a bit better when we're working in this what we're doing right now.
There. I just want it to get up. Get on.
It keeps snapping on you. So once it's there, you can probably do grab Z and lift it up, bringing your mouse again away because you have snap tool on. Yes, yes, yes. Drag your mouse far away when you grab it so that you're not stuck on anything when you do it, and probably have to scale them down a little bit. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, let's just do this. Ooh, okay.
A lot of where you're kind of running um, into it being a little bit more challenging to scale your stuff and move your stuff is because you're working very close to what's selected. No, no, that's fine where your camera's close. You were right. You were right. But if even if I'm if you look at my screen, even
Yeah.
if I have my mouse all the way over here, I can grab and move it. Do you see how they connect?
Yeah.
So that you don't have to be right here when you're moving things or doing things or scaling. Because
Oh,
yeah, because all of these, as soon as you start getting too close, you actually lose the ability, the scale of these tools to work for you. And it'll continuously be a challenge. So as you get you, it's going to take some time to get used to it, because it's a whole different way of working, compared to what you might be used to.
okay. Oh,
So if you just disconnect your mouse from what you're doing, yeah, exactly like that, exactly like that. You'll, it's way easier, right?
yeah.
You're not getting hung up, you're not getting caught up. You don't have to keep turning off your snap tool and all that kind of stuff. You got it. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'll wait for you. You need to get it on the box.
I see what's happening.
Yeah. Try doing it from the other side. Put your mouse on the other side of the box now,
Okay,
and
yeah.
then GX if you want to,
Um,
and line it up that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to see, okay, so
Okay.
like, is it really in the right place? Do one on the numpad to get you into front view and see how that looks to you, if that makes you happy.
Yes, that's
Does that
better.
make you happy?
How do
Um,
how are you viewing it the way you're viewing it? Like it looks fancy.
do you like the way the colors are and everything?
Yeah, like it looks like it's easier than looking at the white.
Absolutely, which is why I did it. So now that we're at this part, at this stage, I'll show you how to do that at this stage
Mhm.
because um, you have to switch to. Oh no, it worked. Never mind. I'm a liar. Yeah, I'm a liar. This totally works in this
Mhm.
view mode. Okay, so up here in your view modes, right, in your viewport shadings, you select your solid mode in the viewport shading.
Oh, I see.
And then once you're in
It's great.
solid mode, to make it look even fancier, you can drop down the shading menu, which is the arrow to the right of the button you just pushed.
Okay, yeah.
So go up here. No, one more over.
Oh, one.
Like
Oh, this
go,
one?
no, other way. So you see, look at me for just 1 second. You see
Hmm.
how you selected this one here, the solid
Yes.
shader?
Uh-huh.
One more to the right, to the right. Yeah.
Right here. Oh, oh.
That arrow button down. I come down and you select matte cap
Okay.
option, select texture.
Select texture.
Yeah. Next one. No, right where you were. Yeah.
Oh, I
Texture.
see.
And then keep going down and
One,
select cavity. Check cavity. Down a little bit further.
fifty.
Cavity.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, you like that?
Yes, it's
And
one.
if you actually click the round button, the round bally ball thing, click on that bad boy. Oh, back in that menu again.
Okay.
You can select any, like, which one's your favorite. You get to pick what, yeah, see? You can pick whatever color you love.
That's
So
awesome.
the clay one is my favorite, personally. But you can do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, that one looks great.
Yeah, yeah. It's way better, obviously.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness.
Sorry, I should have had you do. I thought we wouldn't be able to see our reference photo if we did this, but yeah, this is way better to work with. Okay, so back to your little ball. If you're happy, are you happy with the position?
Now I'm looking at it. Yeah.
All
I
right.
kind of like how it even goes in a little.
Yeah. I could have had you like cut it in half and rest it on top, but there's nothing wrong really with it intersecting like this. And
Mhm.
that's kind of, we'll start getting into all kinds of more advanced things that you can do, but this is fine for our purposes, right? I think the
Yeah.
only thing looking at the reference is that this looks like a screw in there. So we would probably, it would look different, but just for fun, we're going to do it like this, right?
It really does look like it looks like a nut on the top.
A nut, yeah, yeah. So we could have done a nut if you wanted to, but
Ah, it's okay.
no, are you okay? Because we could do
Yeah.
that too, but another time. We'll do this another time. So, a couple things I want to do though, because like these are real sharp delineations of the geometry. I don't like that. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose Shade Auto Smooth. And it's going to make
Yeah.
it a nice, pretty shaded, funny ball. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
This is just, ouch, hold on a second. This is just not actually a change in any of the geometry, but it is a change in how the normals reflect light, which is again more advanced, but still, it's just important to know that that's there. And we can even do when we look at the crate itself and the angle we created with our bevel, we have that it's showing me these sharp angles right here, right? And that doesn't look very attractive. So we can do the same thing on the crate by right clicking and shading auto smooth, and it will smooth out those angles. It's not actually smoothing out the geometry, it is smoothing out the way light is reflecting on them.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, I
it's,
see.
yeah, instead of the computer deciding that those lines were sharp angles, we're deciding at what angle are we considering it a sharp edge. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just about computing and lighting and everything. So, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we need that ball on all four sides, right?
Yeah.
If you look right now, though, the little orange center, which is called our origin of our object, is in the middle of the orange ball. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So if I do the mirror modifier while that's there, the mirror is going to be referenced that point of origin. So we'll activate the mirror modifier so you can see how it's not going to behave the way you expect it to be or you want it to behave. So yeah, go ahead and add the mirror modifier, and then you're going to see that nothing happens on our ball because it's mirroring from that geometry, from that origin.
Mm-hmm.
So to fix that, we're going to go up to the object menu and we're
Okay.
going to apply all transformations. And that's going to result in the origin is now in the center of the universe. It's in the center cursor.
Okay.
So now, because we've lined everything we were doing up from the very start, we were using the center of the entire world to do
Mm-hmm.
everything, to all of our modeling, so that we were making our work a heck of a lot easier by just using the center so that we could mirror everything across indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then now you can also mirror on the x-axis and we get our little dotty things on the other side too. Make sense?
On the x-axis?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
y.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Boom. And we're happy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's wonderful.
That's it. Like, I mean, that couldn't be it for the modeling part of it. There's other things that we can do. We can, blah blah blah.
Mm.
But we can also go with this into Substance Painter and just go crazy,
Yeah,
and do the
I'm ready.
texturing. Are you ready? Okay. So a couple things we need to do to prepare is we need to finalize the mirrors because these mirrors, the modifiers they're fake. They're not real.
Yeah.
They're not real geometry. They're pretend. So we have to do, if you go to your iron pieces first, um,
Okay.
there's right here, you can do apply, or there's this button up here that says apply all modifier. Oh, you don't have that on yours.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, 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 right here. With the mirror modifier itself, there's a drop down menu at the top.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
on the
nope.
specific, yeah,
Oh, right here.
yeah, go to the far right, yeah, and apply. So we apply the mirror modifier, and bam, now they are in fact the geometry. They're real.
Okay.
So do the same thing with the balls now. You're going to select the balls and we're going to
Wonderful.
apply that modifier. So now they actually exist.
Okay,
Because
great.
if you don't do that and you export it, like let's say in NSL, it will only have one bar and one ball. And that's it. The other ones, they won't exist, right? So we have to apply the modifier. Now, the other thing we have to do is, I would like to do, is we have to create materials in order to put textures on stuff.
Right.
You'll get an if you were to upload this into an SL right now, it would just be black because we're not
Mhm.
telling it how we want the textures laid out. So I'm going to make this this is what we call UVing, and UVing is where we set up texture coordinates on the mesh model itself that
Mhm.
communicates with the textures that we want to put on. And you could spend the next 5 years learning how to properly apply and create and modify and manage UVs. That's like a whole thing in and of itself. But I'm going to show you the easiest way to do it right now when you're learning and not to fuck around with stuff. Just make your life super easy. So, what I want to do is decide what materials are what. And there's so many different ways to do that, but I'm just going to make it how I learned the first time, and then I'll teach you all kinds of tricks later on. So, I have my box.
Mhm.
I want you to go to the material tab, which is this funny little round thing in your material menu.
Okay.
And I want you to add a new material by clicking new.
Yeah.
And it should be named, well, yours isn't named material 2, but that's fine. So it should be named something, and you're happy. You've added a material now. Okay,
Okay.
I want you to click on your metal stuff and do the same thing. I want you to add a material to your metal, and then I want you to add a material to your balls.
So,
Yeah, you did it.
uh, oh, just by clicking them?
That's it. No, you did it. And then the balls, and then they have material already. I don't know
Okay.
how that happened, but that's wonderful. They have a material already. So everything, yeah, so you got a material on every one of your objects. Now, also to make our life a lot easier, I want you to select all of your objects. So you've got them all. Yep. And I want you to
Okay.
control J. I want to take all those separate pieces and I want to make them one piece. So control J makes everything one object.
Okay. Yeah. Looks like it
Did
did it.
you actually control Z for a second? I think
Okay.
you might have
Close it.
missed a material somewhere. Click on your crate.
Okay.
Your crate has a material. Click on your metal. Oh, I see. You don't have an original material there. Yeah, so right where you are, don't move. Right there, right where you were. No, you were at the right place before. Okay, you see how it says material and then there's a 2?
Yeah.
So on my screen, you see this little thing right here?
Yeah.
This
Okay.
copy.
Yeah.
I need you to push that button one time. There you go. So what happened is for some reason it just picked up the same material, so you ended up with you would have ended up with a little bit of an error because they would have been competing with each other. So it's fine.
So
So we
that
just
one.
fixed it.
That one.
Did they all
That
have one? Perfect. Now join them all. Control J.
one. Oop.
And then in your window, you should see you have 3 materials now,
Yeah.
correct? Boom.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. And now you know we can make our lives. Let's just off the hop get into some really good habits because this will pay off. Um, tab into edit mode to face mode, whatever. Face mode. Tab into face mode. Select one of the faces on the crate. And what material is it? Is highlighted right now. It just says material.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
says material.
So rename it by going into this right here and call it crate. Enter. So now it's called crate.
Okay.
And then select one of your metals and call it metal. And then select one of your balls and call it balls because that's how it needs to be called. All right, just to make our life easier and tab out again, just one,
Okay.
because I'm going to get you into a new window now. I want you to go up to UV editing.
UV
It's way
editing.
at the top.
Oh, I see.
These are different layout for doing different work in Blender, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to center on your crate in this one main window. And on the left-hand side, um, this is what your UV is going to be, your UV space. Kind of ignore my mess right now. I'll sort it. I have I have a bunch of different add-ons that I use, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to look the same, but you don't have to worry about that. So you're now, yeah, you're in edit mode. I want you to pick balls on
Okay.
your, going back to your materials tab.
Oh, on my materials tab.
Yeah, on your materials tab.
Oh, where do you? Okay, I see.
And make sure you're highlighting your balls. Yeah. And select right here. You have to follow along with what I'm doing. It might be a
And
little quicker.
select.
Select.
Okay.
All right. So you see on your screen what your balls look like?
Bigger. Okay, yes.
You see on your screen here, you've got these, whatever.
Yes.
You can just leave it like that if you wanted to. Because in Substance Painter,
Mm-hmm.
it's extremely forgiving when it comes to texturing. So we're not going to run into any issues necessarily in Substance Painter when we're texturing this.
Okay.
Let's press deselect
What
and
did
let's
you
push
do?
crate and
Deselect.
select the whole crate.
Okay.
Good. And I want you to go up to the UV menu at the top.
Okay.
And we're going to do Smart UV Project. There you go. And Smart UV Project menu, I want you to go to the island margin and I want you to type .005 and enter.
Okay.
And then enter again. And it has just done all of the work for you. So you don't have to do any work at this point, okay? You don't have to
Okay.
figure this out. It's done. And there's 100 things I would do differently, but this is more than adequate for almost everything you're going to be doing.
Great.
So now go back to your materials menu and deselect and select your next material.
Middle. Select.
And then you're going to UV, Smart UV Project. Again, it should already be proper and okay. And now it's just done your metal for you. Bam,
Great.
we're done. So tab out into object mode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want you to select your object.
Okay.
And I want you to go to your file menu. And I want you to export collada. All the way down. Export collada, which is the top on the top. Export.
Where?
Sorry. Just, yeah. Export menu.
Uh,
Collada. All right. You're going to
okay.
export it. Make sure in the export menu you're selecting on the right hand side, you make sure you select selection only so you're not selecting every single thing in your scene and rename it something like crate and save it to a spot that you're going to remember where it is. I'm putting it in my downloads.
Okay, so great.
Make sure it's selection only. You've got that, right?
Yeah, selection only on the side.
Perfect.
Okay.
Boom. Save it somewhere.
Export. Export collada.
And then further, now go to File in Blender, Save, and save this as crate. Your Blender file is crate.
So save as or
Yep,
whatever.
yep, yeah, and then crate to wherever you want it.
Mm.
Very cool.
And then what does that say? Just in Blender?
What's that?
It looks like it. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see it.
As long as you're saving, as long as you're able to, yeah, as long as you're able to find it.
Okay.
I probably should have had you doing that at first as a good habit, but you know. All right, open Substance Painter. Are you ready for? Let's take maybe a 5 minute break.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
Yep.
we'll do a little. We'll come back in maybe 5 minutes. I'm gonna stop streaming on the on Twitch or whatever, and I'll stop the stream altogether, and then I'll just call you. Um,
Yeah, or I can just do it as a channel and smash too. That's
cool.
fine.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
I'll do that.
Okay, yeah,
Bye.
yeah. Let's do that. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.